Hello, I'm the Progressive Disciple. I'm taking a journey through the Bible, and I'm inviting you to join me. Today, we are covering the book of Genesis, chapters 1 through 5. First, if you enjoy these videos, please be sure to like them. And if you haven't subscribed, do that now. This really does help my channel. In chapter 1 of Genesis, God creates the earth in 6 days. This is the first creation story. On the first day, God creates light and separates it from darkness. On the second day, God separates water by making the sky. On the third day, God creates dry land and plants. On the fourth day, God creates the sun, moon, and stars. On the fifth day, God creates the birds and the creatures of the sea. And on the sixth day, God creates livestock and wild animals. He finally creates mankind in his image and gives mankind dominion over creation. And the chapter ends with God declaring that creation is good. In Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 through 28, it says, "Then God said, 'Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground.' So God creates mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female. He created them. God blessed them and said to them, 'Be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground.'" So, what exactly does it mean to be made in the image of God? I dated a girl who was a member of a very fundamentalist church. And she one time said to me, "We know exactly what Jesus looked like." I said, "What does Jesus look like?" And she said, "He looks just like Adam." And I then turned around and said, "Well, what did Adam look like?" But I don't think that the image of God means in the physical likeness of God. You can teach a chimpanzee how to speak sign language. There are dogs and cats that can understand commands and parts of human language. Whales may also communicate with each other under the sea. We have dignity and the authority to rule over the earth. And this is what I think is meant by the image of God. I also think these verses clearly demonstrate that we have a responsibility to be good stewards of the earth. We need to be concerned about climate change and the extinction of animals. In chapter 2 of Genesis, the first creation story is concluded when God rests on the seventh day. And then the second creation story begins. God made man from the earth by breathing life into him. God plants a garden in Eden that includes the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And God takes the man and puts him in the garden to take care of it. He tells him not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, or he will die. God decides it's not good for the man to be alone, so he creates all the animals and the birds. But none of these are suitable for his helpmate. So God puts the man to sleep and takes a rib from the man and makes a woman. and she will be his wife and his helper. Chapter 2 concludes with them both being naked and not ashamed. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, it says, "Then the Lord said, 'It is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him.'" These verses speak to me for two reasons. It shows that God has a concern for our well-being. It also shows that we were made to be connected with each other. It is good for us to help each other, and it is also good for us to be helped from time to time. In chapter 3 of Genesis, the second creation story concludes. The snake was one of the most clever creatures that God had created, and he talked to the woman, telling her that the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil was good to eat and would not kill them. And the woman, desiring wisdom, decided to eat from that tree, and she gave some to the man, who also ate of it. They both realized they were naked and sewed fig leaves together to make clothing for themselves. God finds out about this and curses the snake to crawl on his belly all of his life. There will be hatred between him and the woman. The woman is also cursed by having pain in childbirth. And God also curses the man, telling him that he will toil to produce crops. And God tells them that there will come a time when they will die and return to the dust to which they were created. Adam, which was the name of the man, names his wife Eve. And God made clothes for them and drove them out of the Garden of Eden, so that they would not eat from the tree of life as well. In Genesis chapter 3, verses 4 through 7, it says, "You will not certainly die," the serpent said to the woman, "for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some of it and ate it. She also gave some to her husband, who was with her, and he ate it. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. Disobeying God is wrong. But I ask, what is so bad about desiring wisdom? Is ignorance really bliss? I guess I do believe that man does have a tendency to sin, and unfortunately having knowledge of evil gives man the choice to choose evil. This is a reminder to me not to sink to my lowest desires, but to trust and obey God. Chapter 4 is the story of Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel were the children of Adam and Eve. Cain was a tiller of the soil, and Abel kept flocks. They both sacrificed to God, but God favored Abel's sacrifices more than Cain's. This angered Cain, and he murders Abel. God confronts Cain and curses him. The land will no longer produce for him, and he must be a nomad wandering. Cain says that he cannot bear this punishment, for people will find him and kill him. But God puts a mark on Cain so that people will be warned not to kill him. Cain eventually builds a city and names it after his son. Toward the end of chapter 4, they give a genealogy of Cain, and the chapter ends with Adam having a third son named Seth. In Genesis chapter 4, verse 9, it says, "Then the Lord said to Cain, 'Where is your brother Abel?' 'I do not know,' he replied. 'Am I my brother's keeper?'" God doesn't answer Cain's question, but I believe it is important that we do take care of each other. I think Cain's attitude that life is all about me and his indifference toward Abel is what led to his downfall. This is a reminder to me that I must care for the people around me. Chapter 5 is a genealogy from Adam through Seth to Noah and his sons. In Genesis chapter 5, verses 18 through 24, it says, "When Jared had lived 162 years, he became the father of Enoch. After he became the father of Enoch, Jared lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Jared lived a total of 962 years, and then he died. When Enoch had lived 65 years, he became the father of Methuselah. After becoming the father of Methuselah, Enoch walked faithfully with God 300 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enoch lived a total of 365 years. Enoch walked faithfully with God, and then he was no more, because God took him away." These verses differ from the other verses in that Enoch does not die. It is a reminder of the importance of walking faithfully with God and that life can continue after death. The only people that were taken away by God before they had died was Enoch, Elijah, and Jesus. So this is my take of Genesis, chapters 1 through 5. Please comment. I would love to hear what you think of these verses. I am the Progressive Disciple, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.